Origin Jump Works unveiled their X3 prototype at the 2889 Terra Air Space Show, sending a shock to aerospace watchers and industry insiders alike. A company previously known for fusion engines and industrial transport ships was looking to take on the competitive single-seat market with a bold new aesthetic that looked like nothing else in the galaxy. While only a one-off technology and look demonstrator, the reception of the X3 made it clear that the company was capable of competitive single-seat starcraft design, and that there was an audience for their new design philosophy. There's room for style in the vacuum. Emboldened by the public's reaction to their new charge to combine aesthetic and utility, Origin began the conversation to create a single-seat manufacturer. There followed nearly a decade of work to develop a marketable ship and expand design facilities and factories for mass production of the final spacecraft. The X-3 program had been headed by Otto and Andreas Lang, brothers and aerospace wunderkinds, who were known for melding form with function. The Langs were not yet 35, and they were recruited by the SEAL Corporation to oversee advanced plasma manifold development at Origin. It was a position the brothers held only briefly. Together, the pair threw out the current designs and outlined their own more efficient version in just the first 6 months of employment. Thanks to profits generated from that change, within a year they were appointed to head up the highly experimental X3 program. The unique and ultimate vision they insisted on was clear from the start: manufacture a single-seat luxury spacecraft that incorporated clean, modern design. Many creatures create tools, Andreas would preach, but humanity is defined by a more sacred ability to appreciate beauty and to use the appreciation to create art. It was their calling, then, to design spacecraft that would maintain our innate humanity as we reached to ever further stars and expanded beyond the ability to maintain a singular society. In the wake of the X3 success, each brother built out his own team. Otto, the younger of the two, to shepherd the 200 series observation craft, and Andreas to design what the company saw as their crown jewel, the 300 series personal spacecraft. Andreas stacked his design team with fanatics, idealists, after his own heart, who believed in making sure 300 style would carry some higher ideals. The resulting team was an eclectic mix. Standard ship design specialists focused on areas like power plants, thrusters, and life support, while outsiders from other industries were brought in to work on the aesthetics, comfort, and general feel of the ship. Despite all of this, a major factor in the 300's success came not from the design think tank on the Rhine, but instead from the depths of the United Empire of Earth's legal system. In 2898, the High Court passed down a verdict on Pressman v. United Empire of Earth that allowed civilian craft to use the same speed safety standards that racing ships have been using for years. Pressman argued that the current advances in avionics, the older safety regulations set by the Department of Transportation and Navigation, were an unfair burden for modern pilots. The court agreed, and the timing could not have been better for Origin. The 300 would be the first new spacecraft to take advantage of these new speed safety limits. As a result, in 2899, the 300 was one of the fastest ships available in its class. Although RSI Drake and others quickly followed suit and produced ships that were uncapped, Origin won popular acclaim by getting there first. The first-hand machine Origin 300 prototype, pre-production models lacked the closing alphabetical variant designers such as I or P, took flight at Frankfurt Cosmodrome on August 3, 2897. From a technical standpoint, the flight was an enormous success. The prototype completed 9 Earth orbits without a hitch. Additional early tests rapidly checked off these standard first flight objectives, including Earth-Luna Slingshot and the initial Quantum to Low. Inside 6 months, 300-1 was ready to perform the first jump test in real space. The only problem, a complete materials manifest of the current metals, alloys, and components indicated that the end retail cost of the ship would be over 15 times that of an Aurora. The company's board, previously content to let Lang work without restrictions, stepped in. For the next 14 months, the factions of the company fought a vicious internal battle over the 300's production model, with a chain of executives resigning in defiance of Lang's obstinance. Spacecraft designers and outside consultants were tasked with determining how to turn a perfect, expensive prototype into a working production model without sacrificing the soul of the machine. The result of these reworkings was a spacecraft with a sticker price roughly 4 times that of the contemporaneous Aurora. On December 18, 2899, the 300 series premiered at a special reveal ceremony at Bacanor to incredible acclaim. The combination of its stunning lines and incredible performance won over audiences immediately. The 300 series quickly became the look of popular spaceflight, a symbol of success and a goal for everyone setting out into the galaxy. While RSI may have offered humanity an easier path to the stars, Origin offered a collective chance to make that leap in style. The 300 series launched officially in 2899 with a single model, the 300i. Andreas was insistent that Origin would begin producing variants of the third model by designing entirely new models to fulfill different specialized tasks. Origin, remembering the expense of the first prototype and ensuing battle to lower production cost, balked at the idea. For all of the project's rhetoric, later amplified by the series' initial marketing, the company wanted to borrow an important aspect from the RSI's Aurora, a modular space frame designed to easily adapt variants. Like the Aurora, the 300 series would adapt the initial version into a host of different factory models, built atop a standard design. By all accounts, the decision to develop variants instead of bespoke models soured Lang on the project altogether. Instead of hemming the 2903 model, year as previously intended, he built a smaller, separate team to construct the Origin 350R Speed model. Not intended for wide sale, the 350R model was a project that allowed Lang and his most fervent acolytes to chance building a high-performance ship he desired for the racing circuit. Over a dozen 300 series variants have been offered since the line's inception, with the majority being minor one-off yearly models themed for particular events, such as the Origin 320C Imperator's Edition. However, 2 design variants have proven so effective that they have become a part of the standard production run, receiving the same incremental model year improvements as the base ship. As many can guess, I'm speaking, of course, about the Origin 315P that was launched in 2930 as a pocket explorer, an unusual attempt to marry 300i's lines with improved power output and a newly developed scanning package. And despite the odd-ducks nature of the design, the 315P proved to be a reliable performer, with much of the success coming from the smaller prospecting outfits that were happy to have a dedicated spacecraft that could perform just as well, but provide the comfort and style that was often overlooked by other manufacturers. And, of course, the second long-standing variant being the 325A Dogfighter, generally believed to be the result of a naval contract. No information has ever been declassified on why the UEEN might have utilized a fighting-focused 300i design, but an in-depth analysis of the ship's properties suggests it actually first was designed as much as a decade before the 2940 reveal. In any case, the 325A adapts the 300i concept into a dedicated combat ship with upgrades to the weapon payloads and addition of a specialized targeting system. Origin has expanded their production capabilities every year since the 300 launched, using the success of the design to finance more spacecraft that followed the same aesthetic philosophy. From the starter Origin 100 series to the beautiful while functional 600 ships to the luxurious 890 jump flagship, Origin continues to adhere to Andreas Lang's belief that the look and handling of spacecraft should speak to our deeper nature. That'll do it for Whitley's Guide. This is our coverage of the 300 series. Alright, so this was Origin 300 series, Whitley's Guide. Originally in Jump Point 6.04. It's been a while. Nice curation, if you do listen to these, to the lore team. I would say that this is an interesting one. I couldn't help but pick on this one. One of my favorite ships in the game is the 325A. And one of the ships that I would classify as one of the highest potentials is the 315P. When it finally can see its scanners and its tractor beam work together very well. Don't forget, it has extra cargo space on the belly, too. So it's a very interesting combination of things on such a small ship. And remember, it's a single-seat ship. With the Scorpius Antares, what we've just learned is that a multi-crew vessel can come in all shapes and sizes. And having a ship that only has a single person running it has its value, even if it has its shortcomings, of course, due to its scale. But I've always held that the 300 series is wonderful. Even the 350R, another one of my favorites that I've had, my Lightspeed package has got, my only game pack has, it has a bed. So it has a bed and a restroom. So you have hygiene, you've got a restroom. And then on all the rest of the 300 series, except for the 350R, you can, of course, outfit them with a coffee maker, a food maker, etc. For the record, in case you're curious, if you haven't had a chance to play with them yet, the coffee maker occasionally works patch to patch. The food maker just for show. The music maker is just for show. So if you haven't been looking at the customizations, which hopefully will be in Cousin Crows or in the future, and you don't have to fly all the way to Low. Remember, that's on Orison. You can easily go there and check it out. But I hope to see someday the customizations be added there, much like the M50 engine changeout that's being projected to be at Crow's Customs, where you hopefully someday can meet Cousin Crow hanging out in there. So, what is to make of this X3 prototype stuff and the 200 series? I would say that a lot of times these are chosen for a reason. We haven't heard much about Origin other than the 600i series, which is mentioned for just a moment in this article. The 300 series in general were ships that are kind of long in the tooth. They've been reworked once. If you watch the original 300 trailer, you will actually be quite surprised to see that they look nothing like the old ones. They're a little wider in the belly, and they're a little more rounded out of ships, and they're very polished compared to the early times, but they could use another pass. And once again, the 315P needs its tractor beam to operate properly. But they're very interesting ships. Because of the customization, because of the luxury, I think they're the first step into true luxurious living for many, and they're attainable. They're not that expensive. Yes, their price got bumped up by the 100i series being released, and yes, Mason, yes, I agree with you. The 125A is a nice ship for its uses. But my true love of the Origin series the most is the 300s. I think that they're really interesting vessels. And the fact that they're probably I think one of the little pockets of being able to realize that there's so much different things in this verse, that they compared them to an Aurora is kind of silly. I think the only reason in this story that Whitley's Guide turns to the Aurora as an example is because this is an older jump point, and there wasn't as many competitors back then. The styling and the luxury, for example, there was nothing. I mean, just the Origins here, the 300 series. And I would also say that the Auroras have a special place. Don't get me wrong. My first ship was an Aurora LX with a leather seat. So yes, it was luxurious. But I would say that when you climb into an Aurora, you will notice that it is barely a cabin. You squeeze into the chair that does not spin. You squeeze back out of it, and then you slide into the back where you can sleep. And that's basically it. Like, there's not really much going on. And in between, there's like these little areas you can open. And that's and then the two doors on both sides of the Aurora have a door. That's literally it. Where you jump into a 300 and you can see there's clearly defined areas. There's a living space in the back, there's hygiene in the middle, and there's the actual area where you sit as a pilot. And if we're not talking about the 350R, you actually can walk around. There's a moonroof in the ship from front to back, where you can, if you position your ship right, you can log off looking at like a beautiful sight, or you can while you're waiting for your dang coffee maker that may or may not work to give you some much needed hydration. You can uh, appreciate what the space you're in, and you can customize that space into different colors with the customizations, which I hope to see in the game at some point. There's a couple different ones. The wood ones are especially nice touches. So it brings me to the point of what is the reason they chose this. Once again, I go back to that first point I made. Um, Most of the time, the lure team picks and chooses these, usually leading up to ship sales. And I noticed that the 350R was deleted off the tracking system. So it's possible that the 300 series is being rolled out. If I was to wildly speculate, it's possible that there is a new paint maybe coming for St. Patrick's Day, or one of the wonderful in-game versions of that. So, we may see something for a special event coming up. Who knows? Anything's possible nowadays. And I also think that that little mention of the 600i, it could be as simple as that, to just keep that in the back of our minds, because what lately the theme has been from CIG is that you may see these things in a year, you may see them in, based on what's actually on the menu. I think we're supposed to see an update on the 600i's in like June or something. Um, but we may see sooner, especially if they're signaling this early in the year, a few months ahead of time, all the way up in March. Hey, here's articles on Origin's style and how it led to the 600i. Um, Although that's me reading into it. So these kind of little stories at the end of my lure post, they tend to be, I call them overtimes. I call them fun. I speculate a little bit more than usual. You wouldn't catch me speculating this much without dang good reasons in my other videos. So I apologize if I get your hopes up. But I don't think we'll see anything this minute. Changing gears slightly, this will definitely date the video, but oh well. I have had mixed results getting on to servers and actually getting things done on the live servers in 3.18 lately. And I can say unequivocally that when I can, my FPS has actually been very decent. If you have not done it yet, take the dive, ditch your PTU. Don't forget to get rid of it, because that's taking up space on your hard drive, and update to 3.18 live, and get on in there. Take a jump, have some fun, watch some stuff break. Who knows? But if you're going to pick Area 18, that's what I've been seeing my most luck with. I've been on the servers 3 times now, and out of those 3 times, twice I've seen in chat people complaining about other planetary landing locations. And at Area 18, I've been able to spawn ships both times. The times that people were complaining about other things. The third time, I just assumed everybody was having a good time because I didn't see anything in chat. People constantly will complain in chat. PTU, we're live. So I usually use that as a barometer for how good the server's going. I know there's been some great work in the background by CIG trying to hotfix the servers. I know they've been very good on feedback. If you have feedback about the Scorpius Antares, be sure to get that in. I'll put it in the description below, the forum thread for that, and also the 3.18 live information, including the release notes and such. What else I can find, I'll throw into the description as well for this video. But I would say that this is a pretty interesting time. And if somehow you stumbled on this video because of your interest in the 300i series, I'll cover that too. Do not bother with the 300i. Do the 315p if you like to explore, or if you're into cargo hauling, just trust me on that. Eventually, that will be a fine little ship to help you out with your hull series and move stuff around on a larger vessel next to it. And also can tag along on bigger ships that can fit it. It's a great utility vessel. Between the scanners that are not made for combat, but they are very good scanners for its size, and the fact it's got that tractor beam and a little bit of storage, it's a very interesting ship. And then the 325A is a decent little combat ship. It's never been gonna be the greatest combat ship ever, but if you know what you're doing, you can have a lot of fun with it, especially if you're in a small gang and it really doesn't. It's not a hyper focused on 1v1ing. You'll have a good time. And for PVE, you're fine. Occasionally, I've had a bling blow off or something like that, and it is frustrating. Once again, patch to patch, it changes. But when missiles are reasonably doing well, the 325A is fantastic. I can't speak for its custom targeting systems and scanners or whatever for combat. It's like any other ship for that stuff. But as long as you expect that it's a decent ship, and don't be afraid to upfit its weapon systems to slightly better than stock if you're really having a hard time, or change them out. The size 4 on the chin is really what makes the magic happen. And the 350R. It's not the fastest ship right now, but with master modes, we'll see how that shakes out. I can't comment on any ship right now for racing or in general for interceptor work, which 350R actually is geared for. There's a customization for interceptor work, and you do not have to buy the customizations. You can literally just jot down in your notes what the names of all the modules are, and you can go buy them in game and upfit that ship and be happy as can be with the upgrades. Buy it all in game, have a good time. Don't forget, CIG just gave you 200K UEC just for existing in patch 3.18 as a thank you for making the jump through the wipe. So I don't see a wipe happening anytime soon. I keep hearing people jibber jabbering about 3.18.1, which is coming very soon, talking about it going to have a wipe. I do not see any evidence of that. Multiple people from CIG have made posts saying they don't intend to have any wipe there unless there's, in the words of one of them, catastrophic issues. And I just, even the servers going down are not catastrophic. So I don't know what is catastrophic, short of like duping of NPC javelins or something. I don't know what is catastrophic anymore. I don't see a wipe in 3.18.1. They're not going to, the few people that have been playing have been having a good time. CIG has even paused some of the contests, like the one that's over right now at the Gray Cat Racing area, the BTR Racing League over in Orison, which you can get to from the the Augusta Dunlow spaceport. And I have a video on that. I'll include it in the cards at the end if you're trying to find your way to the Gray Cat track. Do beware, it's a little bit of a learning curve to get those Gray Cats running. They can be damaged while you're riding. It is not going to give you a crime stat or anything like that, or a fine. It's not going to do any of that to you. But you obviously can be out on the track and it can bust, and then you have to walk yourself back to go get another Gray Cat. But that's a pretty cool contest to get, possibly get a Corsair. And if I remember, I'll include a link to that as well in the end of this. So I think like right now, I want to make a long video talking about the 3.18 improvements and be able to proudly show that even my mediocre build PC from very long ago, that's barely modernized, is doing great and this and that, but I can't find consistent results right now, and I want to withhold judgment, give it in its fairness. I'll probably be doing a grand video on that stuff by the time 3.18.1 comes out. I've got plenty of footage, but it's a matter of, do you really want me to, talk about the the extra 10 FPS I'm experiencing standing around Area 18 or flying out of Atmo or something like that? I'm doing a couple crappy missions. I don't see it. I want to do a grander video. I want to do a project video where I can show you some adventure that we're going on, and I'd like to, make a goal of buying different ships. An example being the Reclaimer. It would be cool to be able to buy one of those and pick that up and fly it around and actually get can I, make enough to outright buy a Hercules or something awesome like that, and then talk about the symbiotics between those two ships of hauling salvage and trying to find the best price to sell them and such. But I'll be honest with you, I thought 3.18 was going to have more economy changes. I thought it was going to be more interesting to haul items that you've procured through mining and salvage. I thought that was a logical step to kind of merge and kind of symbiotic those things into indie. Because that to me, that would be starting to build that community, making me want to log in because my buddy wants to do this type of gameplay, and my org mates want to go do this. I'd like to start building people up too, and not just buy stuff for myself, but buy stuff for my org mates and stuff, and then talk about their experiences with their brand new ships and stuff. Nothing would make me happier than hooking people up with ships.
So yeah, that's a few of my thoughts right now of upcoming videos. I'm not giving up on lore. I just literally made this video. This kind of video was a bit of a challenge because I was trying to focus that energy that Whitley's guide always has, and maybe my inner Space Clarkson, aka Jax McCleary, and really have some fun with it. But I hope that came across the right way, and I was trying to be respectful to the material and the characters' names and the ship's manufacturing. For what it's worth, I really hope to see that the 300-I-1 uh, be in game somewhere. Some of these things, I really hope the manufacturer, they really hope they aren't forgotten about. These little pieces that really built the world, the verse that we know today. It would be really wonderful to see these in game. Okay, maybe I can't fly the ultra expensive 300 series, but it'd be cool to see one on a pedestal, the real one, with all the hand built pieces of it. And, quotes from the Lang brothers. That'd be really, really fun. Maybe that 200 series observation craft. We'll see that as well. It'd be nice. So, but that may be a topic for another day. Maybe like a top hits list, like top 10 things I'd like to see in the game type of thing, just to be able to flesh out the world. Make it worth going to these places. Make the verse feel lived in. Make the history of the verse worth something and exciting and new. The way, we feel when we hear these for the first time, but be able to share it with friends and have a good time in the process and explore a whole new place. And maybe, just maybe, find new ways to make some profits in the way. That sounds like a fun night to me. All right, take it easy and fly safe, everyone.